Hello, viewers out there. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Good evening to everybody. I'm also going to say good evening to the guests for tonight, the one who is going to anchor and talk much on this intriguing topic. Is someone we all know. Is she's my partner on Mother's Birthday, so she's not new to us. She's part of us. We both run LOL Talk TV together, together. So we are both on the same platform. But I can tell you, she's an expert. This is our field. This is our field. Before she's going to introduce herself, I'm not going. What do I want to say about Omolola Festus Adebayo? Okay, let me first of all tell you that Omolola Festus Adebayo and I went to the same school together. We're friends, we're sisters. No one, not anybody can separate us. We're partners. We run this program together. And then she's also the backbone of this. If she doesn't send that dollar, the Naira cannot join, you know? So, manager, you are hearing Kiki. If she doesn't send the dollar, the Naira will not join. So, we have to wait for the dollar to pop in and then we support it with the Naira. Amalola versus Debayo, you need to tell us all what you have achieved, the BBC, the AAC, the MCC, and everything. But our answer tonight is Omolola versus Adebayo. And then we're going to talk on drug abuse. Drug abuse. You know who I am, the usual person, Lola Adini Hawe, who hosts a talk with Adini. And this is, actually been dragging this particular episode on drug abuse. We've been dragging it, and I really don't want anybody to take it. I wanted Lola to just talk on this. But before Lola is going to talk, we're going to play a video of Femi Oyefordorin. Femi gave us his own opinion. I was actually waiting for Ishmael Dodo. Ishmael Dodo is he works with the United Nations, and then his video wasn't forthcoming because he was busy. He's having a series of seminars. But if Titi is there, we can listen to Femi's opinion. So we want to talk about drug abuse. I know some people will join us along the line if they can meet up. But before then, we're going to play it, and then it's going to be a very short program tonight because I have a program running at the gym that I must attend. Omolola Festus Adebayo, you're welcome on the show. My partner, Mother's Body, you're welcome on the show. Can we have
Thank you.
Kitty, please? Can you please play the video for us, please? Lola, look at me.
Good
I look
morning. My
natural.
name is Femi, and I'm here to give you my own. Good morning. My name is Femi, and I'm here to give you my own definition of drug abuse. Drug abuse, as far as I'm concerned, is when you take prescripted drugs, overdose of them, when you take illegal drugs, when you are addicted to certain drugs because you feel okay, but they are not right for you. That is what I consider to be drug abuse. What do you consider to be drug abuse?
Okay, that's the question now, Femi, to add to the masses. It's not a teacher I did some survey, but most of them were like begging me, begging me, begging me, and I said, okay, get Femi's opinion. But before my partner I'm not going to say the guest. She's my partner, so that guest does not really sound sweet in my mouth. Sorry to say. Before Seth is going to talk about what drug abuse is, we have overview of what we were looking at. What is drug abuse? Type of drug abuse. We want to see sign. We want to see causes of drug abuse. We want to see the societal and drug abuse. We also want to see addiction and way of curbing drug abuse. But I want to tell you a short stuff about just a short thing that happened to me and why I decided to talk on give it another shot to discuss this program, drug abuse. I remember sometimes last year, same Lola Adebayo Festus and then James Komalafe of Several Resource talks about the same drug abuse. You know, we brought in some people, and she was one of the guest speaker on the show. And now, a few months, that's last month, I was down with cervical pain, and my doctor said I should take tramadol. He prescribed some drugs for me because the pain was very, very severe. I couldn't drive. If I sit for a long period of time, I was feeling the pain, but the cervical down to my arm. And then he gave me tramadol, and I went to the pharmacist to say I want to buy tramadol. He still remember to give me the prescription paper, and I went there, and the pharmacist said, "No, I'm not going to sell it to you." To cut the story short, he told me to come back to the specialist. I picked it up, and I went to get it. And I remember that day, he said I should take it for 5 good days. And I remember the first day I took it, that was, I guess that's the first time I'm going to be on tramadol. And man, I was like, this is death. Is really what I cannot, I really don't know. I really don't know. I slept up throughout the whole evening that my boo, my baby boo, my son came to wake me up. I was like, Mom, you don't sleep like this. I was sleeping throughout the whole night till the next morning. Even the next morning, I felt reluctant standing up to go to gym. I came back still sleeping again. On the third day, said I refuse taking it. And because it makes me drowsy, it makes me, I was just not feeling myself. And I imagine people that are used to this. I don't know what to say. People that are used to it, that have become something they can't do without. If I can take this thing for just few days and I'm feeling, giddy, I'm feeling heavy. So what are we talking about? The youth that have been used to this. So say, please take over from me. What is drug abuse? Which is simply the same thing as substance abuse.
Hello, everybody, and Omolola, please, that hype is too much. That hype is too much. Well, everybody knows me. I don't have to introduce myself. I am Omolola Festus Adida. And by the way, I'm eating boli. Can you believe that? I'm eating boli. I'm at my uncle's house. My uncle made boli, and I'm eating it. This is the second one. I cannot remember the last time I ate boli.
We can as well do it. So just get a well program with banana, with plantain, and then you put it on the grill and just chew it anyhow.
I
Well, that's
know,
nice.
right?
That's eating ball. Yes.
Well, I want to thank you, Lola, for bringing me back to your show, Talk with Adwini. And when we're talking about substance abuse or drug abuse, that is a very huge field. I mean,
Very, very.
drug abuse can be anything. I can abuse this body. That is abuse. I can abuse water. It can be anything. It's a very broad, very, very broad topic what we're talking about. However, I'm going to streamline it to the most common drug abuse, the most common substance that we abuse. And when I'm saying substance, I'm meaning drugs as well. You know, like Lola said, you can actually abuse pain medication. And that is one that a lot of people abuse. I know back there in Nigeria, there is paracetamol, right? And there is alabukun, and there is
Exactly.
Andrew's liver salt. There is, which other one am I leaving behind?
If it's not Panadol, it can't be Panadol.
Yes, Panadol, paracetamol,
Remember,
And back here we
exactly.
have like tramadol. You have tramadol is a prescription medication. We have tramadol. I'm sorry. We have tramadol. We have Tylenol. We have ibuprofen. We have some psychotropic medication, which I don't want to go into psychotropic because a lot of the time people also abuse a lot of the psychotropic medication.
Exactly.
But like Femi said, substance abuse is anything. And it's not only substance. And I'm going to generalize this. Abuse is anything that we overuse, that we use overtly, more than what we need or more than what our body requires. So it could be food, it could be sleep, it could be water, it could be sex, it could be anything you can think of. So we are prone to abuse anything as human. But when we're talking about substance, do you know that sometimes people inhale paint that they used to paint the house? There are some
Exactly.
chemicals in it that is intoxicating to some people and make them high. So a state of abuse is a state of when your mental capacity, your cognition is altered. Any
Mm.
substance you use that alter your cognition, that alter the way you perceive things, that alter the way you reason, it's an abuse. So that being said, why do people abuse medications or drugs? And I remember the show that I came on with Dr. Kamalafe. People abuse medication, substance for various reasons. And I'm going to refer to the reason you gave earlier on. Tramadol is a prescription medication. It's not something you can just get over the counter because it's
Oh,
addictive. It is addictive, And I'm not going to go into the psychotropic. This we're talking about pain. Excuse me. We're talking about pain management. We're talking about pain med here, and that is the one that is easily addictive.
mm.
You know, oxycodone, tramadol, and ibuprofen, paracetamol, Panadol Extra. Those are the things that are easily addictive. But when we talk of addiction, we look at the cocaines, the heroines, the amphetamines, the Xanax, the um, clonidine, and all of that. We're looking at all of those medication, but I want us to zero in to the medication that people don't even pay attention to. And those are the
Mm.
pain med, the alabucones, the androlivasalt, the
Mm.
paracetamol, extra Panadol, the Tylenol, the ibuprofen, and stuff like that. So anything you take in excess that will alter your cognition, that will alter your perception, that will alter the way you respond in time, it's an abuse. People abuse substance for various reasons. An example you made,
Mm.
pain, because I don't want to feel pain. And I always tell people, it's like if you keep taking the medication, you're putting bandage on a wound, speaking Yoruba,
Exactly.
totike, ego totike.
Mm.
That's you need to
The,
rip the bandage off and go to the root of it to clean it so that you will not feel the pain as much and people use it because they don't want to feel the pain. People use it because I will use the word, if I can, beta blocker. Like I just want to block the pain.
mm.
There are some medications that are beta blockers. They just want to block the pain. I don't want to feel it. I don't want to think about it. But one thing you don't realize is when you take that substance, when you take that pain medication to block off that pain at that time, guess what will happen after 4 hours or 8 hours? The pain
You
will
come
come
back
back.
again.
And it may even be worse than the initial pain.
Mm.
So that's one reason I want to believe that people take abuse substance. People also abuse it because it makes me feel good, makes me feel high, it makes me very friendly, very social. Some people that ordinarily they cannot say hi to you, but when they are high, they become very flippant, they become very talkative, they become very social, very restless. So there are different reasons. It makes me social, makes me feel relaxed, makes me feel calm, you know and there is a common one here, and that's one of the psychotropic medication. It's Xanax. And yeah, I
Mm.
remember another one in Nigeria. Then I never knew that what is it called? I think my dad will always give it to me. Then it's
Is
like
it
a
Novogy?
sleeping. No, it's like if you can't sleep, they will give it to you.
Champagne.
Listen, no, it's,
This champagne stuff.
I can't remember the name, but those drugs are they are prescription medication, but we get it over the counter. Then, when you take it, it calms you down, makes you sleep. That is drug abuse. So anytime I want to sleep, I go to that medication. That is an abuse. So that's part of the reason why people use it, because it makes them calm, it makes them sleep, it eases the pain, they don't feel the pain, it makes them happy. Some people will tell you, bring out that part of me, the animal part of me, that part of me that is hidden that nobody can see. It brings it
Mm,
out. I'm able to be myself when I use it. And
mm,
what else?
mm. So that's a good one. So what's from what you just said now, basically whatever you do and you do excessively, it's an abuse. It could be drugs, it could be anything, but we're basically talking about drugs or anything. If you're taking cigarettes and then it becomes part of you and you can't do without taking it away, it's a what? Drug abuse. If you're taking marijuana and then it becomes part of you and you can't do without taking it away, it becomes what? Drug abuse. So we're not going to go to the other side you're talking about. We're going to fix things mainly to whatever substance you take in you, and then it comes to your consciousness that you have to keep faking it and keep faking it. You are abusing such. So every youth out there, if you notice that you keep taking cigarettes or you keep doing things consistently, and then it becomes a perpetual habit. We're not talking of a good thing. We're not talking of good thing. We're not talking of you trying
Yeah.
to like press it. We want it. We want that enthusiasm for you to keep moving forward to achieve whatever goals you set for yourself. But what we're talking about is anything that is called a substance, whatever it is, drugs that you take either by water or by anything, and it becomes part of you. And you cannot help yourself out of it. It becomes substance abuse or drug abuse. Now, I'm still referring to myself. When I was taking this tramadol, remember I told you it was prescribed for me for 5 days, and the
Mhm.
day one, telling day one, I was enjoying it not because of the pain was gone, the pain was still there, but because it was knocking me off to sleep. And I think
Mm,
I needed to, you know,
mm,
I'm a workaholic. I needed to sleep. You know, I was having issues with sleep at a point, so it gave me enough time to sleep, which I really don't want to come out of it. But when I noticed that the sleep was becoming excess, you know, very, very excess, I wake up feeling so tired, feeling drowsy, mouth dry. And I was like, no, 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 this is not me. I still really don't see what is the hype out there because it wasn't
mm,
making me hype. It's making me dull, very
mm,
dull and withdrawn. You know, I simply don't want to do anything. I just want to lie down and sleep. I didn't even want to go to work the next day, go to gym or
mm,
do anything. So now I believe it's is a red flag. It's a sign that for me it's not good for my system, and that's why I stopped it on the third day. Though I still continue to use it until that 5 days that was given. Now, what are signs? I want you to tell us what are signs to look out for. So when I'm saying so, you know, I see lot of youth. I see a lot of young guys now that sometimes they sniff their nose. You know, it was until when I was like doing research on this, and I remembered when I was sent to ENT, I think, yeah, ENT, and I was like sniffing my nose, and the doctor was like, ah, wow, this is the third, fourth time. I hope you're okay. So I could really guess from his expression. Maybe he's thinking I'm into drugs. I really don't know because I read it that I just, you know, because when I was reading, I was like, so really, is that what was going on in the mind of that young doctor? Is this woman into drugs? So what are the signs? Just tell us the signs.
Well,
We
you
should as
see,
a
it
mother.
is and I remembered, I'm going to repeat the same thing that I said when Dr. Kamalafe was on. The signs are subjective. And I say that intentionally because sometimes something may happen in someone's life that may change someone's trajectory about life, about
Mm,
situation. But common signs to look out for is if that person stops going to school or stops going to work. Like if I don't get this drug, I can go to sleep or I can go to work. Or I wake up the next morning and the side effect of that drug is making me feel so tired that I have to go back and take more for me to feel energized.
mm,
And that will lead me to the second point, increased energy. If somebody that you know that you know that, oh, okay, this is the energy at which this person has been operating. Maybe you've known that person for years, and all of a sudden there is increased energy. You see the person, and the person just starts become very flippant and just start talking, and maybe they're talking, what they're saying is not making sense, and they just start laughing at themselves or just laughing at things that are not seen. Hallucination is another thing. They may
Yeah.
tell you, "Oh, you didn't see that person, somebody just came in now. Oh, did you hear that voice?" Those are signs of withdrawal. It could be signs of withdrawal,
Mm.
and it could be signs of the effect of the substance they are using. You know,
Mm.
when somebody that you know ordinarily, this person is Kosibashifeshi, this person is just not a friendly person, all of a
Mm.
sudden becomes very friendly.
Mm.
All of a sudden, act without even thinking. Start doing things that you know that this is not normal. Then you have to start digging. Are they taking any medication? Are they on substance? What is going on?
Mm.
And like I said, substance could be something that you inhale. You may be walking on a street and you just inhale something and it just switch something in
Mm.
your cognition or your brain. So you look for signs of people someone that's care about the way they dress, all of a sudden stop taking care of themselves. Personal grooming is lacking, personal hygiene is dwindling. They don't care about how they look, they don't care about what they eat, they don't care about where they go or what they do. Then those are signs we need to
Mm.
be looking out for. If
Sure.
you're seeing somebody's pupil is getting dilated, or the eye is changing, the voice, we need to be looking out for things like that.
Mm. So parents have as you
Yeah,
said, that
alcohol
these
is
are signs
involved. Yeah.
alcohol is involved. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the
So these are,
commonest. Alcohol.
because I remember those days when we were young. This is how we identify those that are just done with marijuana. We call it Igbo. When you see them, even before you perceive the odor from them, their eyes will be swollen and
Will be
very red.
short. Hmm.
So sometimes, when they walk past you, before the breeze is going to blow the odor of that marijuana, you look at it and say, I guess this guy just smoked marijuana. Those are
Yeah.
some of the
And
signs.
and we all know the most common with alcohol is that person become tipsy, unsteady gait, they can't walk straight line.
And
They just start talking, and you would know the signs when you see it, you know. And I say that it is subjective because sometimes it may not be substance. It may be something that happened to someone that makes you become, really energized. And for some people, it could be decreased energy. Some people you would see that maybe men, women, and they have increased sexual libido from
mm,
nowhere. And for some people, it could be very decreased. Someone that has high sexual libido before will have very low sexual libido. You know, it depends on the person's metabolism and how the substance is affecting or impacting the person.
mm. Okay. So we could also say, which you said, once you suspect daily change in daily routine, this person, this is this person, and you see some sudden changes. Just like you said, the person is not being hygienic anymore. The person is not considering about his environment. And then, what about stuttering and speech? Isn't it a
Yeah,
sign we should watch out for?
it impacts the speech as well. That's why I say, the slow speech. The speech will be
Okay.
slurred, and some people they'll start talking very low. You know,
Mhm.
sorry. They start talking very low voice. Some people will become very hyper, and their voice will be high and loud. So that's why I say it depends, and it could be subjective. We cannot pinpoint that, oh, because I see this sign in you, you're using substance. You have to
Okay.
ask.
A good one. Thank you, Lola. Now, let's go to the main thing. We've talked about what drug abuse is, which I know parents have all our fans, everybody have all like Ed what Lola said about what drug abuse is. She has even talked about the signs, which both of us, I could hear someone at the background talks about alcohol too. So these are signs we need to watch out for. Now, we want to talk about the contemporary era we have now, the society and drugs, the society and drugs. What do you have to talk say in that area? I know you look at it that I'm not in Africa. I'm in the US, so I really don't know what I can talk about. Well, you were born here, you grew up here, you spent some large part of your life here before you go that way. So it's still the same thing happening here, happening there. It's just quite different. Now, in terms of the society and drugs, please give us an intake on that.
Well, I always say this and I'll say it again. Like I cannot objectively talk much on the society in Nigeria because it's been so long, But one thing I knew before I left, and I don't know if it's still the same, is that we don't pay much attention to substance abuse. If it's not happening in your family, you don't care about it. You see people on the street and you think it's only touts, it's only the admirals, that, oh, it's only our more conductors, people like that. I'm not labeling anybody that abuse substance, but you will be surprised. You'll be surprised that even the CEO of a company, the president of a company, well influential people are abusing substance,
Mm,
but they are
mm,
not coming out. I don't know what the society, the people in government are doing, but I think that society is not paying much attention to it. Society is kind of brushing it off and pushing them down like they are in the lower cadre of the society, that they are not part of us. Oh, they are the drug addicts, they are our moburuku, you know.
mm.
And it's not only our moburuku, no substance,
I guess that's
you
that's
know.
that's in the said. I guess that's in the olden days. You hardly see a Mobile these days. It's even the children of the rich people using substance these days now. And then these are below even they are teenagers. In fact, it's so rampant among teenagers. Let's forget about the adult youth.
Hmm.
Some of the adult youth are into it. But if you look at
Mm.
between the age of 15, 16, 17, 18, very
Hmm.
outrageous. But I know the federal government has set up a lot of different organizations on enforcing and then doing their best. But the society still needs to put more impact to curb this. Because just like you said, if it's not happening in my home, so it's none of my business about what is happening in other people's home. And then this is what is really killing us. Is what
Yes,
is really
yes, it is, because we are not paying attention to it and it's becoming an epidemic, you know. And I think it will help if the society can have programs to rehabilitate, have enough mental health resources to help people, because a lot of the time, and I think I'm going to branch off to reasons why people do substance or people abuse. A lot of the time, people do abuse substance not because they want to. People abuse substance out of frustration, out of low tolerance for pain. They abuse
mm,
substance because what the heck? I'm tired of everything. Why don't I just use it anyway? Because then to my mommy, you know, they
so
abuse substance.
we can simply say, sorry, I cut you short. I know you need to step out and go back to the office. So we can simply also say that depression might make one to use substance when one is depressed, just like the
Yeah,
topic we had a few weeks ago.
yeah,
Those are things even lead to substance abuse,
yeah.
right?
Depression
Oh,
could. Mhm. And lack of
okay.
education, lack of communication, lack of enough resources. to help people
Mm,
could lead to substance abuse. And
mm,
even the economy situation of the country
exactly.
could lead to
It
it.
comes
But I don't
to
want us to blame everything on the economic status of the country, of the nation. You know,
exactly.
even if the nation is not doing well, I mean, as individuals, we should strive to do whatever we can, to stay healthy and to protect ourselves from the vices.
Okay, like I said, today's program is going to be a short one because I need to go back to the office, and then I have a place to also to run out to. We still have questions to still talk. We're still going to talk, expatiate on how we can cope, ways of coping drug abuse. How we can cope. I remember when my last boy, Harold, when he was young. We if you put drugs on the table, whatever kind of drugs you put on the table, he picks it and goes straight to his mouth. Now, when I say young, it's not. I'm not talking of 1, 2, 3. I'm talking of age 5, 6. So it's not as if he doesn't know. He doesn't know this is. So I just guess that he's so curious and inquisitive to believe that anything he sees on the table is something you can consume. So I'm just giving an instance on how we can come to even to tissue paper sake, to tissue paper. Aaron consume it. So once the elder brother sees tissue paper on the table on my bed, he picks it and try to hide it. So I believe that we can also, part of the way we can cop this thing before Lola is going to talk, is to always monitor. I monitor my kids. I monitor my boy bomba to bomba, and I kept every drug,
You see the
every
thing, Lola, it's good to monitor your children, but the thing is, and that's where I would say education is very important. We
exactly,
really need to start talking about these things with our kids. I tell my kids, if you drink water too much, that's an abuse.
definitely.
If you have a high temperature and I'm giving you Tylenol, and then you take it in the morning, afternoon, night, and I see that your temperature is okay, I discontinue it. If you go ahead to take it, that is substance abuse. If the doctor prescribed 5 milligram or 5 millimeter or milliliter and you're taking 10, that is an abuse. So we really have to educate and be open about these things. And that's why we talk about drugs in my home. We talk about marijuana. We talk about cocaine. We talk about heroin. We talk about
Uh,
even the ones, amphetamine. There are sometimes Percocets. Anything could be addictive. So we have to be open and don't give them nickname. You have to say it as
you
is
have to
so
say
that they
as is.
know it and they understand it. Communication is very important. I have to say that.
That's a good one. So I hope you've heard from Lola, but you still need to talk more about how do we cope this drug abuse in our society? How do we cope it? How do
How
we
do we
need
curb
intervention?
it? I will go back to the
Yeah,
way we will curb it in individual family. We have to educate, educate, educate. We educate, and then we make we let we develop resources in the community that can help people that are struggling with addiction.
exactly.
Because abuse is different from addiction.
Exactly. That's why I didn't go to the word addiction because I saw addiction there. So I was like, addiction is an entirely
That's a
different
whole
thing.
different thing entirely. So we
Okay.
have to educate, educate, educate. We have to keep educating and make sure that there are resources in the community that these people can always refer to when they need it. Resources like
Okay.
mental health therapists, like alcohol and substance abuse counselors, like psychiatrists, psychologists. I don't have to get to
Yes.
Yaba Akpausi, Abakpautu, before I
Oh,
say a psychiatrist. There
yes,
should be
exactly.
resources available to educate and to enlighten us about all of these things.
That's a nice one. That's a very wonderful one. So basically this boils down to every home. Peradventure you're experiencing um an hyperactive kid. or presently you just observe your kids taking drugs, we need to like take action, just like Lola Festus Adebayo has said. We need to take action. And then we've come to the end of the program for today. Sorry, we won't be able to last till 7 p.m. But on LOL Talk TV, on a talk with Adele, we give, we share, and we help. Peradventure, in the aspect of the behavioral um, issues that you think you needed a coach, you can just go to our site, chat us, and then we'll refer you. And then if you still want to talk to Lola Adebayo, who is far in US, you just tell us, and then we'll send you a number. She's also into that. She's a coach. That's her discipline. She's into that too. She could be of help, give you an advice. So we've come to the end of the program, and then on the 26th of May, we're going to have a very intriguing topic that talks about ethics and values. So, which I'm pleading that all parents, friends, and families should watch out. This is just simply about manners, your ethics, your values, and all those things matters a lot. So, I want to say thank you to Lola Festus Adebayo. Thank you, my partner. And Lola, is something not your program?
Yes, this next Sunday.
Next Sunday.
Yes.
So next Sunday, I'm sure you're going to see the flyer on our page. That's Lola Festus Adebayo, the host on Mother's Burden. She's a relationship expert. Whatever you need to ask her about parenting, please do contact her on that page. I also want to say thank you to my social media manager, Kitty and Breeze. Thanks for a wonderful job you guys are doing. I need to go back to the gym. I must not miss this groove. Bye, everybody. Bye.
You're making
Thank
me
you so much.
jealous. Bye.
Sorry. Bye, everyone. Oh, see you now. Bye. 6.
Good morning. My name is Femi, and I'm here to give you my own definition of drug abuse. Drug abuse, as far as I'm concerned, is when you take prescripted drugs, overdose of them, when you take illegal drugs, when you are addicted to certain drugs because you feel okay, but they are not right for you. That is what I consider to be drug abuse. What do you consider to be drug abuse? Good morning. My name is